Everybody, they come to Vegas and they stay in this 4 or 5 block radius, and that's all they know of Vegas. There is so
And
much
they're like, there's
more
no way we could do this. We could
outside
live
of
here.
Vegas
There's no way we
than
could
the
do
Strip.
this. And our taxes are cheaper, way cheaper. Welcome to This Beautiful Struggle.
I'm excited about it.
We finally have gotten to a point where we're just ready to share unfiltered our lives. Infertility is tough. Adoption is tough. But then even talking about like me losing my dad, you losing your mom within a couple of years of each other, our kids losing grandparents, your career and my career, and then making the ultimate decision to move to Nevada and what that looks like, moving away from all of your friends and family and all of those things.
Hopefully people can resonate with our story and just letting people know that they're not alone.
It's not the norm, and infertility is something that people don't ever want to talk about. Our family is such a hot mess, Express. I mean, this is just what it is, right? Like, yes. So we don't have to front anymore.
It's been a long time coming.
Hi, and welcome back to This Beautiful Struggle. I'm Erin.
And I'm Casey.
And today we're just going to be talking life in Las Vegas. It's going to be about catching up with the Carters. We've gotten a lot of questions, just a lot of comments from all of you all. And thank you for listening and watching us. But what's life like in Las Vegas? What are you guys up to? You always seem so busy. You're all over. You're here 1 minute. You're here 1 minute. We do live these very busy lives. So just give you some insight into what life has been like for us in Las Vegas.
Hot. And then cold.
And then cold, yeah. I think that's one thing I was not... We knew it was going to be hot in Vegas because, of course, it's hot, right? I had no idea that you get the extreme of all of the freaking seasons.
Yes. I think last summer, it was like 120 at one point, right?
Yeah, for like 5 days in a row. It was what the hell is this?
We got 120, which is crazy.
But with the heat, people always say, how do you deal with the heat? I tell y'all, I deal with the heat the same way that I dealt with the heat when I lived in the Bay. When it was hot, I stayed my ass in the air conditioning, right? So it's really the same thing. And I think that once it's dry heat, so that can be difficult for people. But I think that once, you know what I mean? Like you have air conditioning in your house, right? You have air conditioning in your car. If you're going to go to the grocery store, there's air conditioning there. If you're going to go to the mall, there's air conditioning there. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same thing where if it's 100 degrees in the Bay, you're doing the same thing.
Right.
Right? We swim. We don't get in the water at like the peak of the day because the sun rays are so strong out here. So holy crap. I mean, I don't burn, but I definitely have gotten like heat rash and heat stroke. Heat stroke is big out here. But then with that also being said, the other hard part is the extreme cold. Listen, I'll take the heat any day. It's hot right now. Like I think today yesterday I think it hit 100 degrees. And I think we're on the up. We're on the up into the triple digits next week.
Yeah.
But the extreme cold is something that I hate and never want to experience. Like I honestly never thought like I would move out of Vegas. But the extreme cold will make me move.
Yeah.
I don't know where we going, but it
the
ain't
cold
Cali.
weather is bad.
Because it's dry.
Yeah. And especially for you, I noticed you and Kaylin, it can be painful.
Oh my God.
So
being out at like softball, I think it started like 2 years ago. We moved here 3 years ago. So maybe it happened and I just didn't notice it our first year. But once the weather drops, it drops into the 40s, sometimes into the 30s. But because it's so dry, oh my God, my skin, I get all itchy. And then my eczema, I haven't had eczema in 25 years. Oh, eczema full force in the winter. So dry, just so, so just imagine like it's cold, but then it's dry and then it's windy. And we got to be out at the softball fields and that, hands like expecting the girls to catch the ball and hit and all this. And I'm sitting, like looking like a princess with with our heaters and my big old comfy chair with my 5 million blankets, my electric hand warmers, with my big old coat and still freezing and like ready to go home.
Yeah.
Then I had to apply lotion like every 5 minutes because my hands keep getting ashy.
Yeah. I think just living in a desert, because I mean, let's be real, Las Vegas is a city that's in the desert. Mm-hmm. So just living in a desert, you get the extreme like on both ends. You get extremely hot during the summer, and then during the winter, you get extremely cold. And one other thing that I learned about Las Vegas that I didn't really know, I think I kind of had an idea, but it does not really rain here at all. I think last year, what did it rain like?
Twice.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days the whole year. Like it doesn't rain here.
And when it rains, it's like, it's so weird. You know, we're from California, so it rains. It's like you go on with your everyday life. It rains here. People are like, oh no, we cannot go out the house because the infrastructure is really bad here. And so the drainage system and stuff like that.
It's
So I will
flooding.
say it floods. I mean, in our neighborhood, we have these ranch style homes that are kind of around our neighborhood, and all of the streets will be completely, I mean, I'm like, can I drive through this? Like, so it
And it
doesn't
only
rain.
rains for a short amount of time. And you were like, all this flooding, it just rained for 3 hours. And now it's just completely, it's crazy.
And it does hit, it's kind of like Florida. It kind of hits out of nowhere. You'd be like, oh gosh, those are black clouds. And then you'll see other people saying, oh, it's raining over here in Henderson. You're like, what? It's blue skies over here. And that's the other thing that's weird to me too. Usually in the Bay Area, if it's raining in San Francisco, it's raining in Oakland, it's raining in, Walnut Creek or whatever. Here, no, it could be raining 15 minutes away from you and you never see rain. It's just clear skies. But then what is that season?
Monsoon.
Monsoon. Oh my God, I was not ready for monsoon season.
It feels like a tornado at times.
So I don't know. I think we've only experienced one when we moved here. So we moved here in April of 2022, and then we had monsoon season, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" I mean, lightning, thunder, lightning super close, and I'm such a scaredy cat. Like I don't like to drive in the lightning or anything like that. Everyone says, "Oh, you're safest in the car." No, I feel like that's gonna hit my car, and I'm gonna die. And so I remember one day I had to pick you up from the airport, and I was like, "You're gonna have to get an Uber." Do you remember that? I was terrified to drive.
After I had just landed in a plane, but she's terrified to drive.
And so I did it, and I remember being on the phone. I don't know if it was with you or someone, probably Precious. And literally the whole way, I'm like, "Oh my God, the lightning!" But the scary thing is, the lightning gets so low that you will literally see it hit a tree, and then the tree's on fire. And so I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's gonna hit me!" And then I'm like, "Do I turn on? Can I listen to music? Do I not listen to music?" Yeah, so monsoon season, that's when everything blows all over the place. The rain, the thunder is like something I've never heard of. The pool is usually a mess, but I mean, I like it now. It's nice to sit and watch a storm. But before, when we first moved here, so that was definitely something we had to get used to. The weather, we're completely used to it now. It was so cold this past winter. After we had such a hot summer last summer, we have been begging for the heat, and the heat's here, and I'm like, I'm ready. We're getting in the pool this weekend. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So I think another thing we had to get accustomed to about being new to Vegas is the traffic and driving habits of
Oh, people do not know how to drive here. It is
the
horrific.
people here.
They blame it on the Californians, but it's like, no, we know how to drive because we have to be defensive drivers in California. Y'all just don't know how to drive at all. It is bad. The amount of accidents. Casey had a motorcycle. I bought him a Harley. He had a Harley that he sold when we moved, and he really wants to get a bike again. And I'm like, absolutely not. And it's not that I don't trust him on a bike. It's just you hear about, riders going down like 5 or 6 a day because people do not know how to drive. And it's just insane. So there's that.
I think a lot of it is because Vegas is a huge metropolis, and a lot of people from Vegas, or a lot of people who live in Vegas, are not from Vegas. There are so many transplants from other places. So you got people moving to Las Vegas from all these other parts of the country where they bring their driving habits from that part of the country, and then they all come to Vegas and try to drive.
Yeah, it's like they lived in places where you didn't have stoplights and stop signs, and you
No,
don't know
they
how
had
to
stop
you don't know
signs.
how to drive
They
around
just
a
don't use it.
roundabout. Like people are just so.
Yeah, so you got people from Texas and Florida and
You
New
have to
York
yield.
and Hawaii
You
and
can't
all these
just-
other states.
You can't go in the roundabout and just have the right of way every single direction. We're gonna all die. Like, yeah, people don't know how to drive here.
But I think in contrast to the Bay Area where we're from, there isn't really a lot of like sit still bumper to bumper traffic.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
So that is actually a blessing that we don't have that. So we're not sitting in. I don't ever recall a time where we've just been stuck
there
on the
was an
freeway.
accident.
Yeah, we've just been stuck on the freeway. But the Bay Area, there's a You just be stuck on a freeway and there's no accident. It's just traffic for some reason.
I remember I had to pee one day. I was stuck on the San Mateo Bridge. And I had to be creative because the whole bridge was shut down. And I had to use the bathroom. So that water bottle came in handy.
Okay. Yeah. Slow.
But you don't have to worry about that stuff here because it's true. I mean, even driving.
There's no bridges.
Even driving today, like there was like 5 accidents. And the one thing that I can appreciate about Caltrans or whatever they're called here is they come in, they clear an accident off the freeway right away. Like there is no, like they're ready. Their lights are, which is a little confusing because it's like police lights. So you think it's like, oh God, it's a big accident. But no, it's just them and they're clearing. They get everyone off the road. Traffic picks back up. Another thing that I really love about Vegas is in the Bay Area, if you drove 880 especially or 80, there was always dead animals, deer, raccoons, all of that. You never see that. I don't think I've ever seen wildlife on the freeway of Vegas. So I say all that to say I know it happens. I know that coyotes, I've heard of a coyote getting on the freeway and getting hit. But animal control, whoever it is, they come, they dispose that. We don't have all of the potholes and all of those things. Like, it's nice to live in a city where the city actually cares about the roads.
Yeah, the infrastructure. Yeah. It's definitely a plus. I can't lie.
Okay. Enough about all that stuff. But I know y'all want to know, how do we manage life in Las Vegas? I think when we moved here, there was a lot of unknowns because Casey was still kind of going through his workers' comp. But, I mean, he was living the life. He's been living the life on the beach. You know, now being retired. What does a day in the life of Casey look like?
Now, I generally... So, well, let me back up a little bit. So, when I was working, I didn't really get to participate and take part in a lot of things involving the kids because oftentimes when they had stuff going on, I was at work. So, since we've been here, I've been able to get up with the kids in the morning.
Hallelujah.
I'm the primary one who takes them to school. I 100%. Pick them up. Since we've been here, I think I haven't missed any games. I've been to every one of their games or anything to do with school. I've been able to take part in, which has been a blessing for me because I missed a lot of it. So,
and a huge blessing for me because I was tired of doing it all.
Okay,
it's true. It was so nice.
So that's typically my day is take the kids to school, pick them up, and then any of their extracurricular activities. That's what I'm doing. Obviously. Well, not obviously, but we coached our youngest daughter, Savannah's softball team. So Erin and I were both coaches of the team, and we've been heavily involved in softball. So between that and softball, that pretty much takes up the vast majority of our time, especially during the season. During the off season, it gets a little bit better, but during the season, it's just school, softball, and that's just pretty much it.
We're just coming out of our recreational softball season, and holy moly, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. The softball, I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have it any other way. When we are not at a softball game or at a practice, I feel like something is wrong because it's such a big part of our lives that we enjoy the community surrounding that. You find your people and you realize that these people are really going to be your family. You know, some of our best friends have come out of, you know, here in Vegas have come out of our softball community. I wouldn't trade that for the world. But yeah, the girls have practice, they have games. And then in addition to that, Savannah's pitching right now. So she goes to pitching once a week. Kaylin goes to hitting once a week. And literally every single day we have softball except for Sundays. We get a little bit of a break right now, not much of a break. And even though we are not playing in the summer league or anything like that, we're still softball. The girls are still in their lessons. We still do a lot at home. We coach our girls constantly. We're agility. I've told Kaylin and Savannah, get ready for a protein and muscle summer because Kaylin is going travel. And yeah, I mean, it's just been insanely busy. We have been in the recreation world for quite some time. But we knew something was missing in Vegas, and we just couldn't really put our finger on it. Coming from California, and softball in California and softball in Vegas are two completely different things. And a lot of, a lot of states, I think, aspire to be to the elite level of California ball. Wouldn't you say? And not just California. I mean, there's a lot of other places where softball is the prevalent sport for girls, and there's a lot of money and resources and stuff like that. But California, for sure, is one of those places. And so we just kind of felt like something was needed. So we got with some of our softball family. And so when I say that our recreational season is over, we are still full-fledged softball this summer. We just started this organization called Rain Girl Softball. We're super happy and excited about it. We just had one of our first sessions, academy sessions. So we're a full-fledged academy, and what that means is we want to, okay, so if you want to play softball, this is where we needed to kind of fill the gap. You play softball, you go and you play for a recreational league. All of these recreational leagues are parent coached, right? And a lot of the time, like when we even coach Savannah's team, we didn't sign up to be coaches, but I mean, obviously we jumped into it. I was on the board, so I was voluntold to take a team, which then meant that I voluntold my husband to take a team. And so, we give our all to it. We both grew up playing sports, and so it's like, we're good. We're good here. But there's a lot of parents who took teams or coach just because they needed coaches and didn't really have the background. And so when you think of it from that standpoint, is you put your kid in, you pay all this money, you put your kid into softball expecting that they're going to learn fundamentals, mechanics, all of these things. And depending on the coaching, and I'm not blaming any parent or anything like that, but you might not just get the best coaching, right? Like you might not get someone who can really teach you the basics of softball, teach you how to properly field, catch a ball, all of these things. So we knew that there was a need here. And so with some of our softball family, we just decided that we wanted to start an academy that we could, from beginner all the way up to advanced to elite. Our goal is to help girls learn the fundamentals of softball, to get more competitive,
Build their confidence.
We are going to put a lot of emphasis on school. And, the hard part is like, it's sad because when you think of, unlike, I guess, basketball, because you have the WNBA, there's really no upward mobility past college, right? And so we really just want to kind of create this space for, girls ages, 6U all the way up into 18U, to propel them through their softball careers. And so we're really excited about that. And then also with that, then we are going to start building some development and elite travel teams as well. And we're going to be doing a lot of things here and in California and other places too. We have a lot of support. We're super excited about that. So Kaylin is officially making the leap into travel ball. We're officially ready since she has to move up to 14. So this will take up so much of our time. And, people are going to be like,
As if it wasn't taking up enough already.
Yeah. But do all of the things that we love, which I will say, like, we are definitely living in our passion, which I think is important. I mean, I think a lot of people can't do that, so I definitely think we're blessed. You being retired definitely helps with that. That nice money that comes in consistently, and then still having you around, to help. And we have our benefits and everything. So we're definitely very blessed to be able to live the life that we live. And we realize that.
Yeah. So softball takes up a lot of our time, but what are some of the
other things we do?
Yeah. I'll say this. So the beauty, at least from my opinion, of living in Vegas is just there's always something to do here. There's like year round. So there's never an off season. There's always something. Obviously, we live probably maybe 25 minutes away from the Strip. Mm-hmm. But at any day, at any time, you want to go to the Strip and you want to see like a show. You want to see a magic show. You want to see, we just went and saw the Michael Jackson show. If you want to go see one of their Cirque du Soleil shows, you can go and do that. Or there's always a concert because there's always artists doing their residency in Vegas. So there's always something here. We just saw Maroon 5 for Erin's birthday right around there. So
free tickets.
Yeah. So
free tickets.
It's like the entertainment capital of the West Coast. So there's always something here. There's always something to do, which I love.
And see, Casey can dream about all of these things because he's retired, right? Where I still have 5 million things going on that occupy my brain, and I'm jealous. I'm more jealous of you. You're looking at me like, what the heck?
No, I know I'm retired and I'm living a good life.
He's always like, oh, you want to go to the show? Or I'll be working or doing something. He'll be like, you want to go to the movies? And I'm like, I have to work, like.
I don't.
It's like, oh my God. That's nice, definitely. I mean, I like to have fun and do all of those things too. But I think the hard part is, so when I moved here, I still had Carter's Cove, for those of you guys who might know my boutique that I had for almost 10 years that I loved. But something was just off when I moved here. And I think a large part of that was leaving my local clientele that I had such personal relationships with. And not just my local clientele, but like all of my clientele. It was different in Vegas. It was hard to put down for me. It was hard for me to put down a business that was profitable. But sometimes, things run their course, and I felt like Carter's Cove had ran its course, although I miss it all of the time. I've always done business consulting on the side, and everyone's always come to me for all of the ideas and all of these things. And so finally I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing full time. And so I started Erin Carter Consulting, and that has been nothing short of amazing. Along with that, I think moving to Vegas, some of the things that I had just noticed were this is one of the biggest things that I noticed about Las Vegas. So yes, we are entertainment. We have everything. Like you said, you can go to a concert, you can go to a game, you literally can do anything. And when they say it's the city that never sleeps, that's somewhat true, because I guess before we moved here, but during COVID, a lot of places that were 24 hours are no longer 24 hours. So like even Walmart closes at 11 o'clock, which is weird because in the Bay, we had 24-hour Walmart. So it kind of sucks that Walmart's not open 24 hours. Target closes super early and stuff like that too. One thing that I really noticed that Las Vegas lacked, that I was so confused about, because I don't know, you just think of all of the growth that Las Vegas has had. It was so hard for us to find a house. Everyone was moving here. But I really just felt like there was a lack of community. And I think it's very hard for business owners, small business owners to, for your businesses, it's very hard for you to grow and for you to, blossom. And it's hard when there's a lack of community. So when we moved here, I told KC, after United by Blue, which took up so much of our time in nonprofit, I was going to sit on my hands. I wasn't going to do anything. And for the first 6 months, I didn't do any of those things. And I was so bored. It was so boring. I just worked my business. We did softball. We were home on the weekends.
It was glorious.
It was horrible. I was miserable. My mental health was completely failing. So then I told him, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this post. So anyway, long story short, I started a new nonprofit. It's called Ladies of Las Vegas. It is my baby. I love it. Casey's like, oh my gosh, Erin, what have you done? When I started it wasn't meant to even start a nonprofit. I was just looking for some like-minded women. I felt like a lot of the women that I was meeting were at different stages of their lives than where I was. And I really wanted to connect with people that were like-minded, who understood what it's like to be a business owner, to be a mom, to be a wife, But then at the same time, I wanted to meet them. I wanted to meet their family. I wanted to meet their kids. I wanted to meet their husbands. So then my husband had friends, because Casey doesn't put himself out like that, right? So I have to be the one to put us out there like that. Would you agree?
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Yeah. So it's like, listen, we didn't know anyone here. So I started this group that grew and grew. And then eventually I was like, okay, this has to be a nonprofit. So now here we are, Ladies of Las Vegas, over 2,400 members in our Facebook group, close to 100 members in our nonprofit organization. And we're growing, and we are like-minded women in business. And the best thing for me is, and I know you guys see me all over the place, like one day I'm here, I'm at a coffee meetup, over here, we're here. I just feel so blessed because I feel like I created that community, right? Like that's what I wanted. And so now people are like, oh my God, you've been here for 3 years. You have so many friends. And and I don't put everyone in the friend box, but we have a community, we have a community where now the husbands get together, they play poker. You're having poker night this next week. Yeah. With the husbands of the Ladies of Las Vegas. I told him he needs to start a men's of Las Vegas, but he said that's weird.
That's not happening.
But I'm just saying, like, it would be like awesome, but our kids, I mean, even some of my kids, even my kids, some of their best friends are from Ladies of Las Vegas, or if not, softball. So anyway, our life is very hectic here, but I wouldn't change anything for the world. We literally do everything that we want, every single thing. And even in my business, it's like a dream come true because, you'll dibble dabble in things that kind of lead you to where you want to go. But, once he officially got his retirement and I knew that we at least had that consistency of income, I knew that it was time for me not to, dibble dabble anymore, and like for me to just go drive straight towards my goals. And we've done that and we haven't looked back. And so, yes, life for us is extremely busy from the time that we wake up. Now we're doing podcasts, and podcast is its own beast. But I'm just so happy that like we've done this and we're doing it together, which is super fun. It's like work, but not work.
Yeah. I've always wanted to, I love doing podcasts. It's something I've always wanted to do. So I enjoy it very much so.
But yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're doing everything that we love on the weekends. Find us either at the softball field, supporting friends and their kids and their sports. We love to do a good Sunday fun day at the park. We
still go camping.
Yep, we camp.
We still go camping.
We make time for all the things. We softball every day. We work out. We podcast. I think we're just building the life that we wouldn't be able to build. We wouldn't be able to have the life that we have here in Vegas if we still lived in California, just because we couldn't afford it. We were so priced out of California. It's not even funny. And just even me, like thinking back to like me working my boutique, and I loved it. But I think that was the other thing too. Like when we were in California before moving, I had to work. So it was like 10 to 12 hours a day, going live, doing all of this. And like my customers, were amazing and supported us, and all of that was great. But I think then moving here and realizing that I didn't have to work as much, I became a little bit bored because I'm just someone who likes to be busy. But yeah, we love to camp. There's so many beautiful places around Las Vegas and Nevada. I really love how we're so close to other states, so we can just hop over to Utah. We've camped there. Hop over to Arizona. We've camped there.
And then in the winter, you want to see snow, you can just 45 minutes away from Mount Charleston, and bam, you're at the snow.
Not even for us. 45 minutes for other people. It's probably like 20, 25 minutes for us, which is nice because we're so used to going to Tahoe or driving 3.5 hours, putting chains on your car and doing all that. We don't have to do any of that anymore. So yes, there is snow in Vegas. It's right outside of Vegas, but close enough. So if you come in the winter and visit us and you want to ski, we can take you to the ski resort and you can ski. Any downfalls, do you feel like? What do you miss? Do you miss anything about Cali? I miss the ocean.
I miss some of the food options in California. I'd say too many downfalls. Sometimes the weather is like, oh my God, it's so hot or so cold. But I don't mind that. You know what I will say about us living in Vegas? I feel like we see people more often now living in Vegas than when we lived 10 minutes away from them in the Bay Area.
The family, yeah. Well, that's part of the reason why we chose Vegas too, right? Because I think we were kind of back and forth between Texas, where my sister is, and my niece and my nephew, my brother-in-law, my niece and my nephew, I miss them, or here. But I think, one, the proximity towards home, we're a lot closer here being in Vegas. But yeah, everyone comes to Vegas. Everyone comes. And yeah, it's true. And let me just say this, and I'll tell you guys, if we want to see you when you're visiting from Vegas, you will know, because we will come see you. If you're on the Strip, because I don't like the Strip, and I'm a gambler, and I don't like to gamble on the Strip, so I try and stay away from the Strip.
Yeah, when you live in Vegas, you don't really want to be anywhere near the Strip.
Mm-mm. Unless you're going to watch a show or having dinner.
Well, yeah.
Or whatever. Locals don't gamble on the Strip or anything like that. But yeah, I always say, like, if we want to see you, we'll see you. We'll come down. We usually like put our kids, get them ready for bed, and let them know, okay, we're heading out. And we'll go down, 10, 11 o'clock at night and kick it with you to 3 a.m. If we don't want to see you, we will have a full softball weekend.
We're busy. Sorry.
Yeah. Overall, life in Vegas has been great. I think it has very much of a California feel. The diversity is very much the same of California. I
Yes.
definitely think it makes it easier being here as a blended family as well. We don't, while we get the stairs and all of those things, it's not like we live in Kansas or something.
Yes. I think Vegas, overall, Vegas has been exactly what our family needed. It's been a good move for us. I don't have any regrets about moving to Vegas at all. I think it's been a blessing. It's allowed us to do some things that we weren't able to do in California, what you said a little while ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of eased that financial stress and yeah, just allowed us to live our life a little bit more free.
Yeah. And I think too, like, yeah, I miss the ocean, but it's nice. I'm closer to SoCal now being in Vegas than when we were in the Bay. So it's just a quick, 3.5 hours down the road, to go to. We still drive to Disneyland and we do all of those
Yeah.
things. This summer we'll be in San Diego and, we're be in Utah and, we'll kind of be all over. We're going to Hawaii and doing stuff, but it definitely makes it a lot easier. So if you're listening and you're in California and you're like, oh my God, I cannot live like this anymore. Let this be a sign.
Yeah.
Come to Vegas.
Come to Vegas. I don't think people realize how close Las Vegas is to like Arizona and Utah and like you can literally be in 3 different states in less than an hour. You can be in California in less than an hour. You can be in Arizona in less than an hour. You can be in Utah in less than an hour. That's how close we are to those states.
And it's Vegas, so just like some airports, like you can fly in and out of Vegas all the way until like midnight, right? So you can take a flight out of Vegas at midnight, and then of course you can fly Spirit, Allegiant, but all of those small I don't like to fly, so I wouldn't get on any of these flights. However, but like Allegiant goes from Vegas to Stockton and Vegas to other areas as well, right? Like Spirit, you can always get on a Spirit flight. And I'm just saying, like, if you needed to get home or, you needed to travel, you can always get out and you can always drive, too. I mean, it's 8 hours to the Bay. I do not love that drive. I think we have learned that if we're going to drive to Vegas, we will usually drive to the Bay. We will leave super early in the morning from Vegas and get there. And then coming home, we will leave at night. So we'll drive and leave at like the Bay at like 6, and then we'll get home at like 2 in the morning. But it's great because there's no traffic. Usually the road work is like minimal and stuff like that as well. But so anyway, yes, let this be a sign that Vegas is an amazing place to live and an amazing place to raise a family. The schools are okay, depends on where you live, but there's always homeschool. That's the other thing. Yes, we are full-fledged homeschool, but you can always homeschool. And I used to be one of those people too who were like, you're going to homeschool your kids? What is wrong with you? Homeschool was the best thing that could have happened for us and for Savannah. More importantly, for Savannah. We do school like an hour and a half, 2 hours every day. Today I was like, you don't have any school. And she's like, yay,
Yeah.
But there's always homeschool, or there's online school, there's charter schools, there's so many different schools. But the landscape of Las Vegas is so gorgeous. I mean, if you like to hike, holy crap. There's Valley of Fire, Red Rock, Mount Charleston. There's so many different places. And one of the nice things that I will say too, speaking of Mount Charleston, where we go to ski, right, or to go to play in snow or whatever it is when it's 150 degrees in Vegas, everybody goes up to Mount Charleston because then it's like a good 85 with the breeze, perfect place to barbecue. You can camp, you can do all of those things. So there are a lot of ways to escape the heat in Las Vegas. But I just want to plug it because I would love for my friends and family to move to Las Vegas. It is a beautiful place to live. Other than if you can deal with triple digits, anything over 105 all feels the same. I promise you.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. 105, 111, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah. There are a lot of water parks and oh my goodness, all of the like rec centers have water slides. You could go to the YMCA and pay $5 and there's water slides for the kids and big old pools. You get to use all of that. So there's a lot of activities. Don't let it fool you that Las Vegas is only the Strip, because Las Vegas is so much bigger than the Strip and it is really a city. And they're doing a lot to like bring family activities and
Yeah. And there's construction everywhere. They're working on the infrastructure everywhere. Everywhere you go, they're working on a freeway, or they're building some houses, or they're building shopping centers or something. There's something being built everywhere in Las Vegas. You turn, there's construction going on. So
yeah. So all that to say, the Carters are thriving. We are very happy. No, we will not be coming back to California anytime soon. The only time,
we'll visit.
yeah, we'll visit for sure. But the only time I would ever even consider buying a house in California is once I hit the jackpot, and we will buy a vacation home in Laguna Beach or Newport Beach, any of the beach cities. We will buy a house on the water and we will vacation there.
Manhattan Beach.
And we just think that you guys should come with no kids, and then stay on the Strip, and then come and visit us, and then we'll take you to all the local places and we'll sell you.
Yeah, you have to leave. I know everybody, they come to Vegas and they stay in this 4 or 5 block radius, and that's all they know of Vegas. There is so much
And they're like,
more
there's no way we could do this.
outside of
here.
Vegas.
There's no way we
than
could
the
do
Strip.
This. And our taxes are cheaper, way cheaper. Our property taxes were what, $10,000 in California, $3,400. We have no state income tax anyway. Just come and visit us. But yeah, we love it here. We wouldn't have it any other way. I think we'll definitely be set at least until the kids graduate, and who knows where our journey will take us after that. But I'm not afraid to move around now that I've made this move. So, ultimately it's been a great move for us.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. Obviously, if you have any questions, or you're thinking about moving to Vegas, or you're just intrigued, please reach out to us and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But please like, share, rate, subscribe, and we appreciate you. Everything we do, we appreciate you, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.